Hey everyone, so we are on our last portion of our new hire orientation training. So thank you for staying along for the long haul with all of this. So this is just going to cover pretty much anything that we haven't already been over. So this first part just has to do with parking lot etiquette. So when you are in the parking lot, the speed limit is 5 miles an hour. So do not be speeding through the parking lot. We've actually had in the past where an employee uh, actually had a accident with a customer in the parking lot. I don't believe they were speeding, but some of the corners are a little hard to see past. If you are around the area of a blind corner, just honk your horn, just let people know that you're there. I know it may sound a little crazy, but it does help people to know, especially like I know at our Cadillac dealership, like if you're going around the corner in the back area, like where the gas pump is, it's really hard to see back there. And sometimes because of the way cars get parked, once we get a truckload of vehicles in, there's really only enough room for one vehicle to drive through instead of two. So, it gets a little crazy because sometimes people have to back up and whatnot. I know at our Ennis and Country location, it can also get that way too, especially in the back where, it can just get a little cramped sometimes when we get some more vehicles in too. So just like earlier, remember the 10-foot rule. So if there's somebody within 10 feet of you, whether or not, they're there for the, service or sales or parts department, just go ahead and greet them. Maybe they're just looking for the bathroom. So, just greet them and help them out in any way that you can. Always be courteous to everyone. So always be friendly to everyone, no matter, whether they're there to buy from you or not. Guide guests to the locations, don't just point. So, and that is just one of the things that just irks me a little is when I see people just pointing like, oh, where's the parts department? Oh, you have to go, down this hall, you have to go that way, you have to go that way. And the customer gets confused because you're just pointing and you're not showing them how to get there. So they end up having to ask another person on their way typically. Just because the parts department is usually, somewhere in the back. So make sure you actually like walk with them. Just say, oh, great, let me walk with you. By the way, my name is so-and-so. You never know. You can hand them your business card and maybe they'll come back to you later. So always be smart and aware of your surroundings as well. So always make sure that you know what's going on around you. So dress code, again, just make sure that you do get with your managers at your dealership. We already kind of went over this a little bit in one of the previous videos, but just get with your manager to find out what the dress code is. Cadillac is going to be the most strict out of all of them, and Country is pretty much the most laid back. In the summertime, we've seen in the past where people, like men, can actually wear knee-length shorts there as well. And this is kind of somewhere in the middle where it's like jeans and like a nice shirt. But again, get with your manager because, there's always changes that are happening too. And maybe, they may want to, make the dress code a little bit more casual, or they may want to make it, a little nicer as well. So, and then with the home office, so if you are being hired on for the home office is typically business casual throughout the week. And then on Fridays, you can wear jeans with a Frank Kent shirt of some sort or a company shirt. Or just a nice, blouse of some sort, or a collared t-shirt or something like that. So coworker etiquette. So remember, they are your champions and can help. So remember, your coworkers are your friends. They're not your enemies. Don't just see them as like your competition. See them as your team. See them as your teammates that will help you succeed. And there may be things that maybe they might know how to do that they can help you so that you can succeed more too as well. Don't be afraid to ask questions from your coworkers, from your managers, from anybody in the company. We're all here to help. We're all here to work together as a team. We already went over the 10-foot rule, actually twice, so I'm just going to skip that one. Be courteous at all times. No horseplaying. So horseplaying typically leads to people getting hurt. whether physically or emotionally of some sort. So no horseplaying, no playing around, no running around. We're not in high school, we're not elementary kids. Just it's 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 okay to have fun. Just don't make it look unprofessional, and don't be like chasing each other around or or anything crazy like that. And then if you have any questions on conduct or anything that you just may think is maybe a little off or whatnot, you can refer to your employee handbook, or you can always call me or Chris or Anna as well. So we are more than happy to help you out if you have any questions when it comes to conduct. If you think that something just doesn't seem right to you, feel free to reach out to us. So computer policies. While you're on the clock, computers are for work only. This is very important. So do not be shopping online. Do not be, ordering a ton of food and whatnot and things like that. If you need to order food, just do it off your phone. We actually have had somebody where their computer, she was shopping online, and her computer actually had gotten a virus because of it, to the point where we had to actually like reset the email, reset like all the logins and everything. So, given it was on a lunch break, but you just never know what's on websites. So just when you're on your computer, just use it for work. Do not install any software that's not authorized by Frank Kent. Most computers won't let you install it unless you have the admin password, which really only our IT person knows. But if for some reason you are able to bypass that, just do not install anything. Always always keep everything confidential. So any information about your customer, don't be sharing that, with your friends or with your family or whatnot. Don't take screenshots. Don't send over, anything you may think is funny or you may think is kind of cool looking. Just keep it to yourself. Keep it confidential. Don't share that information. Remember to lock your computers when you're not at your workstation. So if you walk away and you do have confidential things on your computer, make sure you don't just leave it up to where anybody can just sit down and begin looking at it. Not that I think anybody would do that. We just don't want to take that chance, though. And then remember that your work email, your FK1935 email, is only for internal use only. So make sure you only use it for work-related things. Don't be emailing back and forth, with your husband or, maybe your girlfriend, or, using it for your friends, or, signing up for all these subscriptions and things like that. That's not what that email's for. Listening to your customers' needs. So this is just kind of a refresher. We've already gone over open-ended questions, which will also lead to probing questions as well, where you can gather more information from the customer. If or then questions too, is another great way to get to know your customer. Open-ended is still going to be the best way to start off, though. Make sure that you diagnose the problem. So if there is an issue, make sure you find out what that issue is before you immediately just jump in as well. Anticipating unspoken client needs. Empathy when handling concerns. So just make sure that you do have empathy when you're handling the concern. Just say, yeah, I understand, make sure that you say things like, I understand, I'm sorry you went through this. Don't say things like, oh, I would be so upset if I was in your position too, because sometimes that kind of adds fuel to the fire. So make sure, just be cautious on the things that you're saying, but at the same time, let the customer know that you hear them out too. And then the difficult customer, that's always going to happen at some point. Just do the best that you can with them. Stay calm, stay positive. If it gets too out of control, you can always get a manager involved. And managers, if you ever have a situation where, even maybe you have a hard time with it, you can get your general manager involved if it comes down to that as well. because sometimes it just can get to that point with some customers where they just want things done a certain way. So, I mean, if you ever get stuck, again, feel free to ask for help from whoever is available. So client-facing best practices, make sure you always have a clean work area, not only because we get audits, that's part of it. So we do have audits at our dealerships, but just it's a representation of who you are as a person. So, if I were to come in and your desk is like cluttered and all this, all this stuff, it shows me the kind of person that you are. It shows me whether or not you're organized or not. It shows me whether or not, you take, a few extra minutes out of your day to actually clean off your desk or not. And then take pride in your workplace as well. So, like I said, we are very team focused here. We are all about helping each other out. So take pride in the fact that you work for, an incredible company like we do. So, and I'm sure along the way, I mean, you're just starting, you'll find out exactly what I mean by that. The things that we do on our workplace Facebook, so you will find out more about that. The things that we do to pump people up in our dealerships and in our family office, we do all kinds of fun stuff. So take pride in the fact that you work for Frank Kent. And always be presentable. So always look your best, talk your best, and just be your best. And then treating clients like a guest in your own home. So treat your customers and your clients like they're pretty much sitting on your couch with them. So just be nice to them, offer them, hey, do you want a drink? Hey, are you hungry? Do you want a snack? Do you want me to go get you anything? Hey, bathroom's right around the corner. I'll show you exactly where it's at. So treat them just like they're a guest at your own home. So golden rule versus diamond rule. So we're all familiar with the golden rule, which is treat customers like how you want to be treated. But here at Frank Kent, we like the diamond rule a little bit more. A lot of people aren't familiar with what that one is. So the diamond rule is actually treat customers the way that they want to be treated. So maybe they don't want you to go out of their way to say, maybe they don't want somebody who's really chatty. I'm a very chatty person, and I live with somebody, my husband, he has his days when he's not that chatty. So typically when he goes to a dealership, he just wants to go in, not talk to a lot of people, get it done, and then just leave. With buying cars, with service, with parts, with any of it. So there's some people that are like that, and there's some people who just want to talk the whole time. Who just maybe they're a widow. Maybe they just don't get to talk to a lot of people. And maybe this is their one chance to get out and to actually have, a conversation with somebody. Who, maybe they just don't know what's going on in their life right now. So just think of it that way. And then we're going to skip the role play just because, again, we're doing this virtually. So morals, values, and ethics over profit. So we talked about this in the first training, and we're going to talk about it in the last training. So it's unwavering integrity, trust, and built on transparency. So do as you say and say as you do. And then pretty much just make sure that you live it out. So morals, values, and ethics over profit. So the customer, put the customer first over, making a profit, over making money. Meet their needs. So passionate service, be proactive in everything that you do. So don't just be reactive. Don't just wait until something actually happens. Be proactive. Go out of your way to do things before they may become later on an issue or whatnot. Create transparency and a diamond level of service for each client. Be a problem solver, not a deflector. So don't just, wait until something happens and then just, do enough just to get it off your plate. Actually try to be a problem solver. So harassment and discrimination. This is an unfortunate topic. We really don't, most workplaces just don't really necessarily like to bring up, but it does happen sometimes. So let's not be the headline in the news. So make sure that you respect your workplace. And if you do think anything is going on, there are employment laws as well that are available. And again, you can come talk to Anna, Chris, or me at any time if you ever have any issues in any departments with anyone. So here is a example. Oh, well, it looks like it's not going to work, so I'm going to skip that one. And then building a report. So the right attitude. So welcoming, enthusiastic, curious, resourceful, and warm. So that is the right attitude that you need to have when you're greeting a customer, when coming in. When I say putting on your A game, that's what I'm talking about, is this right here. Right signs. So eye-to-eye contact, smile, and positive body language. So don't like cross your arms. Don't put your hands on your hips the whole time. Acting like you don't want to be there. So, I mean, your customer will read that very fast. Like, this person doesn't want to deal with me. This person doesn't want how to have anything to do with me. So, put on your A game. Just be the best person that you possibly can be. Communication skills. So facial expressions are 55% when it comes to our communication skills. So because the customer is looking at your face more than anything. So what you're doing with your mouth, with your eyes, with your eyebrows makes the most difference. Tone of voice. So your tone of voice does make a difference, whether or not, yes, I sound really tired today, I really could care less, or I'm excited and I'm chipper to be here. Now, I don't expect everybody to be chipper all the time, but at least sound excited. At least sound like, hey, I'm excited that you're here. I'm excited that you chose us rather than going to someone else down the street. So tone of voice makes a huge difference. And then words are only 7%. So it's not what you say, but it's how you say it. I mean, what you say is important, but how you say it plays a lot more because of tone of voice. And the videos just don't seem to be working for me right now, so I'm going to skip that. And communication skills. So always have a positive attitude. Again, whatever you have going at home, just leave it at the door as soon as you get in. Happiness and enjoyment of your work. Put the guest at the center of everything. The client is right even when they are wrong. So always make them feel like they're right, even if they may be saying the wrong thing. I know sometimes that can be a little bit difficult, and that may take some practice, but the client is pretty much always right. I mean, most workplaces use this as well. Do not use any jargon, slang, profanity, or abbreviations with the guest. So I know a lot of the time I've heard this, especially in our service department, with slang. I'm sorry, not slang, abbreviations. Like, we have all these abbreviations for all the op codes that we use. So, like, oil changes, or, maybe tire rotations, or, maybe, what is it called? Any kind of, things that involve, like, lifting up the vehicle, to test out the tires and whatnot. There's abbreviations. So if you say like LOF, for example, to a customer, they have no idea what you're talking about. The same with, it being online as well. So customers don't know what that means unless they've looked it up before, or they know somebody who, works in a service department. So just be careful with abbreviations. I see it more in service than any department, at least for that part of it. Profanity, we just do not need to do it. I understand sometimes you just get really frustrated, or, maybe you're goofing around with your friends. We want to create an environment where we just really don't use a lot of profanity, especially if there's, potential customers that are around, because it just looks really unprofessional on our end. Slang, again, it has to do with, staying professional. So we really try to, stay away from slang. I know it can be a little difficult with Southern slang, like in Ennis and Corsicana, but just try to stay 100% professional as you can, and the same with jargons too. And we've already gone over the golden rule. So a guest is more likely to share a bad experience than a positive one. So just remember this as well. So the art of handling rejection. So we'll have some more of this information in our quiz, but just remember that, try to make the best of a bad experience, just so that that's what they remember, not the negative part of it. And then this is kind of fun. So this is the last slide. It actually says the word last with abbreviations on it, so it's just kind of fun. So last stands for listen, apologize, solve, and thank. So this has to go back to, the art of handling rejections. So this is how we provide an exceptional experience. So treat everyone like a guest in your house. So make sure you listen to them first, then apologize, but at the same time, don't say anything negative, about our company as well. Solve the problem. So see if there is a solution for it one way or another, depending, whichever department that they're in. And at the very end, thank them for their honesty, because they didn't have to go over, the issues that they were having. They didn't have to tell you that. They didn't have to, they could have just left unhappy and not gone over anything with you. So always thank them for their honesty. So this is pretty much just the end of the new hire orientation training. So you will have some more training after this, just for your department that, you will need to follow up on, at least system training, and you'll likely have some process training as well. So you will be getting that information. And if you don't get that information, I would say within the next week, reach out to your manager and see what other training is available that you can do as well. So again, if you have any questions, just feel free to reach out to me at any time, and I'm happy to help.